There is a kind of quiet we learn before we understand it. A quiet that doesn't soothe, but trains us. A quiet that feels like safety on the surface, but behaves like a leash underneath. We grow up believing silence means goodness, that calmness is virtue, that storms should be hidden. I learned to fold my anger neatly, as if it were a fragile piece of paper someone might see. I turned my fears into polite smiles, the kind that look warm but feel hollow. Every truth I swallowed became another stone in my chest, and people called it maturity. Everyone applauded the quiet. No one noticed the cost. Some houses feel holy with how still they are, but holiness isn't the same as life. In those rooms, chairs never scraped the floor, even emotions walked on tiptoes. And eventually, I mistook stillness for love, a dangerous kind of mistake. Some homes are museums of restraint, perfect and untouched. Cups land softly, voices land softer. People smile without letting their thoughts disturb the air. No one raises their voice, they raise subtle looks that hurt more. We call that harmony, but harmony without honesty is just choreography. I grew up in those quiet exhibitions, learning to disappear gracefully. In those rooms, the electricity hummed louder than people did. It felt safe, but it wasn't alive. And for a long time, I confused those two things. Stillness was my sanctuary, but also my cage. I didn't fear anger, I feared sound. Sound shakes walls, sound rearranges the room. And I was terrified of rearranging anything. So I learned soft sentences. I don't mind, it's fine. Each phrase a small funeral for a truth I never let breathe. People praised my calmness. They didn't see the course beneath it. Calmness became self-erasure, a slow vanishing of who I was. Patience turned into a cage, beautiful from the outside. But cages don't stop being cages just because they look peaceful. And inside, my quiet started echoing back at me. Some families operate entirely on silent agreements. No arguments, just widening distances. No hurt expressed, just eyes silently turning away. We smiled with perfect politeness, but none of it reached our hearts. Love became symmetrical, carefully arranged like furniture. And emotions learned to stand still, so they wouldn't break anything. I thought that made us strong. I was wrong. Quiet households raise quiet adults, trained to fear their own voice. And that training follows you, long after you leave the house. It becomes the lens through which you see the world. Peace has taxes. You pay with unspoken truths. You pay with unsent messages, with swallowed emotions. Your ribs become drawers for everything you couldn't say. The quiet begins to echo, and the echo grows heavy. People think silence is strength, but sometimes it's surrender. A surrender so subtle, even you don't notice at first. You keep the room calm and lose pieces of yourself in the process. Keeping the peace becomes more important than keeping your identity alive. And harmony becomes a bribe you pay with your own voice. a bribe that empties you slowly. Not all wounds bleed, some sit quietly in the air. The calmest people can hurt you the deepest, without ever raising a voice. They smooth over emotions, until nothing real can survive. They avoid conflict, at the cost of connection. I have been one of those people, too calm, too controlled. I smiled through clenched teeth, pretending it was grace. I comforted others, while abandoning myself. I said I understand, when I was silently collapsing. Silence can be so gentle, and so violent. A soft weapon you don't notice you're using. One day, the throat begins to protest. It refuses to stay quiet. Unspoken words gather like a crowd, pressing against locked doors. Your breath fogs the window, and writes a sentence before you even realize it. Your voice trembles inside you, demanding release. A truth you tried to hide shakes like wind behind glass. It's not loud, it's simply real. Sometimes, realness is the loudest noise of all. Your body knows the truth, long before your mind allows it. And one day, you finally feel it rising. You can't hold it back anymore. Silence becomes habit, a reflex. You say yes automatically, even when your soul says no. You smooth every wrinkle in the room, even if it means wrinkling yourself. You lose the map of where the performance ends and the person begins. Modern life rewards this quiet, mute, archive, ghost. Technology teaches us how to disappear politely. Draft messages become graveyards for the honesty we never deliver. Our screens become priests, listening to confessions we won't say aloud. Silence becomes a lifestyle, disguised as maturity. Until one day, you feel the cost. The first honest sound isn't a scream. It's a breath you refuse to apologize for. A small, steady exhale that belongs entirely to you. Then comes a whisper, a quiet, trembling no. And it feels like an earthquake to everyone used to your silence. Small truths follow, gentle but undeniable. Boundaries spoken softly, yet shaking the furniture of your life. People notice, some don't like it. They preferred the quiet version of you, the easier version. But ease is not life, and silence is not love. You begin to breathe differently. Real peace isn't quiet. Real peace has a heartbeat. It moves, it breathes. It lets truth sit at the table, without breaking the plates. Honesty doesn't destroy peace, dishonesty does. You realize the quiet you worshipped was the quiet of museums. Beautiful, still, dead. You want the quiet of kitchens instead, alive, warm, human. The kind of quiet that coexists with laughter, with questions, with life. You feel the world soften, in a way silence never allowed. Peace begins to feel like freedom, not performance. Not everything survives your voice returning. Some relationships dissolve. Some people step back when you finally step forward. But what remains is real, smaller, but true. You discover people who love you, even when the room shakes. People who can hold truth without breaking. People who don't worship silence, but welcome sound. Peace becomes something you carry, not something you protect others from. You breathe freely for the first time in years. And you realize the world doesn't collapse when you speak. It simply becomes alive, just like you.